When I say talking to strangers, what is your first reaction? Do you wince at the idea of having to engage with someone you know nothing about, or do you light up the idea of connecting with someone new? Based on a survey I conducted, we can assume that majority of you would feel unfavorable to the idea of talking with a stranger. But, based on the same survey's results, we can assume that the vast majority of you would say you think you would benefit from talking to strangers. Why is that? Why do people shy away from something that we acknowledge to be beneficial to us? According to Gillian Sandstrom and Erica Boothby in their article, Why Do People Avoid Talking to Strangers? We do not like talking to strangers because, quote, we found that people worry more about their partner not enjoying the conversation than they do about not enjoying the conversation themselves. I, like many of us, can relate to the idea of feeling the awkwardness that comes from trying to hold an engaging conversation. Specifically, I reminisce on a plane ride I took when I was 16 years old when I accidentally befriended a woman in her maybe 60s. We initially started talking about her jewelry that had been stolen during security. They kept giving her freebies because of this, and she was trying to share them with me. During our 6-hour flight, this turned into much more than trying to share airplane peanuts. I learned about her internship at an art gallery in Italy when she was in her 20s. She shared that her oldest daughter was a scientist who always looked up to Jane Goodall and was moving to Seattle to work in the field. She confided that they grew up on the East Coast and she had never been to the West Coast, and was scared about her daughter living so far away. In the midst of this, she also asked so many questions about myself and even tried to pry into our third roommate's business. You know how there's typically 3 seats per side, per row on an airplane? And if you don't, it looks just like this. Well, on my plane, the third roommate was here, I was in the middle, and the older woman was on the aisle. The third woman in the row was working on her laptop and she had her privacy screen on it. The older woman asked me loudly, "Why can't I see her screen? Is she trying to hide something?" To which I had to loudly respond, "I'm sure she has her reasons," while the third roommate stared at us since she had clearly heard the interaction from inches away. After all that, the older woman patted my shoulder and wished me luck in life as we got off the plane. I never even learned her name after all that. Although I enjoyed the conversation, I felt awkward the whole time, like I didn't have anything worthy to contribute. Think back. Can you think of a similar memory? Maybe not one without airplane peanuts and third row mates, but have you ever connected with a stranger? How did you feel? What was the outcome of that conversation?